Hi everyone, welcome to Conceptual Thinkers Talk Primary Maths Concept with Teacher Ben. Now today we will be touching on P5 Maha Bodhi WA2 2022 question 20. So let's start and interpret the question. So we have a rectangle below which is made up of 4 triangles, and the area of the 3 triangles are shown. So we need to find the area of the shaded triangle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles, and out of the 4, 3 of them was given in terms of the area. So we have 81 cm square, 63 cm square, and 104 cm square. Now our job is to find the area of this shaded part. So the concept here will be area of triangle. So let me just write down area of triangle. So we did interpret the question and identify the concept. Okay, let's start to implement the step to solve this question. So firstly, I want you to focus on these 2 triangles. So the first triangle that I want you to focus on will be this triangle that has area of 81 cm square, and also another triangle which is this 63 cm square. Okay, the reason why I want you to look at these 2 triangles because when you add the 2 triangles up, that will give you the area of half of the rectangle. So how do I know that these 2 triangles will add up to give you half of the area of the rectangle? It's because if you look at the base of the top triangle, now the 2 corners of the triangle will touch on the corners of the rectangle. Okay, now this left with the third point here. So let me just circle. This third point will be somewhere inside the rectangle. Now if you look at the bottom triangle, same thing, the base, the 2 corners of the triangle will also meet at the 2 corners of the rectangle. Now again, the third point will be touching on the middle of, somewhere in the middle of the rectangle, and according to the diagram you can see that the third point for both triangles will meet at the same point. Now with these 5 points, we can conclude that the area of the 2 triangles, if you add it up, will give you half of the area of the rectangle. Okay, now why we can conclude that is because if you look at the area of the triangle formula, it will be area of triangle formula, it will be half times base times perpendicular height. So the base here, both of them has the same base, right? Because they are at the length, they are on the length of the rectangle. Now the next point will be about the height. So the perpendicular height is what I draw in the diagram here. Now these 2 height combined will give you the breadth of the rectangle, right? So if you add up the 2 triangle in terms of their areas, you'll notice that it will give you half of the rectangle. So let's put in some numbers for calculation. So just for illustration purpose, so let me just show you a diagram here. So this is a rectangle, so let's say that I draw a triangle here, then I draw another triangle here. Okay, so this, since that all the corners are touching the corners of the rectangle, and this point here is actually intersecting here. Okay, so give a simple example. Let's say this is 20, 20. So this is 10 and 10. So let's give some arbitrary number for this. Let's say this is maybe 6, and this has to be 4, right? So if you calculate the area of the top triangle, it will be half times 20 times 6. Then if I add with another half times 20 times 4, so in terms of calculation wise, we can actually get this. So we have 60 plus 40, and this will give me 100 in terms of the area. Now if you look at the area of the rectangle, it will be 20 times 10, right? So I'll take 20 times 10. So this will give me 200. Now notice that it will actually contribute half of the rectangle. So this is what I mean in terms of how you actually should observe this observation. So this means that the area of this triangle, if you add with the bottom triangle, that should give you half of the area of the rectangle. Okay, so these 5 points you need to take note in order to ascertain that. Okay, let's continue and solve the question. So since we know that 81 plus 63 will give me half of the rectangle, right? So if you do a calculation to add them up, now this question you cannot use calculator, so you have to do your calculation. So I'm gonna get 144. So that will give me area half of the rectangle in terms of the area. Okay, now this means that the other side here, let me just use another color to highlight. So let me just use a blue color. This means that this area plus this area has to give you the other half of the rectangle, right? So in order to get the area of the shaded triangle, it will be equal to taking 144 and minus away this 104. So this will give me 40 cm square as the answer. Okay, now if you look at, just focus on the blue color triangle, you also notice that the two corners of the rectangle actually coincide with the base of these two corners of the triangle, and this part of the shaded triangle, you notice that the corners also coincide with the corner of the rectangle, and the third point actually also intersect. So that's why I know that these two triangles, if you add up, must also contribute to half of the area of the rectangle. Okay, so this is how we implement the steps. And lastly, when it comes to inspection, you have to ensure that you are using the number correctly, you are adding them up correctly, and you don't make any transfer error. Okay, remember to put in your units. So that's all for this question. And if you have any question, feel free to let us know. Now, don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel, Conceptual Thinkers. Follow us on our Facebook, Conceptual Thinkers, Mathematics and English Hub. And lastly, you can also follow us on our TikTok, Conceptual Thinkers SG. So feel free to share your question. If you have anything, please drop your comments in the box below. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye bye.